Live from Arkansas's streaming leader, this is THV 11 News at 6.
We want him shut down so he can stop profiting off the community that he's already stolen so much from.
The uproar in Benton continues tonight over a restaurant owner who won't serve jail time for an alleged sexual assault.
And for the first time, we're hearing from the man accused of the crimes. That's where we start tonight at 6. Thanks for joining us. I'm Faith Woodard.
And I'm Brooke Buckner. We brought you the story last month after Timothy Stepek was accused of the crime by 3 young waitresses who worked at the restaurant, all while he was already being investigated for wage violations and illegally employing minors.
It's since led to protests outside the restaurant, with some saying they won't stop until justice is served. THV 11's Carter Thweet was there today and has the latest on the message they are hoping to send.
We're going to be here every day until he ain't. Until he shuts down, we're going to be here every day.
A small group of protesters braving the cold outside Tim's Tavern in Benton Tuesday. TJ Blackburn is a Benton resident who says at times they've had as many as 40 protesters.
We're out here protesting because the victims didn't get to give their voices heard. They didn't get to have their voices heard.
The alleged victims, 3 underage girls who worked at Tim's Tavern and say he sexually assaulted or harassed them. But those charges were dropped, with the Saline County prosecuting attorney saying he didn't think they could be proven. Instead, Stepek pled no contest to 3 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor and got 12 months probation.
We want answers. None of it really makes sense.
On Tuesday, Stepek released his first official statement through the restaurant's Facebook page. Part of the lengthy statement reads, quote, "Tim has and continues to and will continue to maintain his innocence of all the lies, slander, and crimes he's been accused of," end quote. While he wouldn't give an on-camera interview, I went into the restaurant to speak with Tim on Tuesday. He told me he never would have pled guilty or no contest to any sexual assault charges, and he only pled no contest to the endangerment charges because he didn't think he could get a fair trial otherwise. He added that he plans to release evidence proving his innocence later on.
We still don't know what evidence Tim supposedly has or the prosecutor supposedly gotten to want to bring the charges down, but we tend to believe the minor girls.
In Benton, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
Carter, thank you. There have also been reports that Arkansas Alcoholic Beverage Control was looking into Tim's Tavern. We reached out to them and they confirmed they did receive a call, but they have not issued any violations and are still reviewing the complaint. In Little Rock, board members are currently meeting to discuss the resolution calling for Director Ken Richardson to resign. It was filed by Lance Hines, who has shown his support for the Ward 2 director, but wants him to step down because he hasn't attended a board meeting since May of last year, citing an unspecified health issue. If passed tonight, the resolution would be placed on next week's agenda for a vote. However, that vote would not force him to resign. It only requests that he does. Catherine Rowley is at that meeting and will bring us the latest tonight at 10.
Forecast the last few days has been challenging, to say the least. Why some folks in Arkansas benefited from sunshine today, well, the central part of the state did not. In fact, the corridor of I-30 from Texarkana through Little Rock up to Searcy, Batesville, we were socked in with those low stratus clouds, and they have broken up a bit tonight, leaving us with a gorgeous evening out there. State Capitol lights in full array, as well as traffic on 630. Looking pretty good out there. And our numbers are 37 Little Rock, Searcy. It's 38 in Batesville. That's because we didn't get sunshine today. But 52 Fayetteville and Harrison, they made it into the upper 50s and low 60s. We're cooling off tonight. I've adjusted our lows into the middle 30s. Wind out of the southwest is going to pick up, and typically when you get a west-southwest wind, it will keep temperatures up overnight. Here's what you can expect over the next 3 days. I'm not nearly as optimistic about the Wednesday forecast. I'm going to go mostly cloudy because the sun has not appeared, and hopefully it will. We'll play a little reverse psychology on Mother Nature. So tomorrow, I'm calling for mostly cloudy, but maybe it'll be mostly sunny. We'll have to wait and see. Colder weather conditions are on the way. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Tom, thank you. Tonight, we're taking a closer look into crime numbers here in Central Arkansas after homes and businesses on both sides of the river have seen brazen burglaries in the last 2 weeks. Now, officials tell us no injuries were reported in these cases, but it raises a bigger question. How many of these crimes are happening across Central Arkansas today? THV 11's Maya Ellison took a look at the numbers to try and find the answer.
Faith Baptist Church in North Little Rock sits off Camp Robinson Road, an area Pastor Todd Dornan says is typically quiet until 2 weeks ago.
We have a man in our church that we contract to do our yard care, and he stores some of his equipment in our shed behind our church. He came one Saturday morning, found that the lock had been broken on the shed.
On the ground lay bolt cutters, and inside, 3 mowers, all missing.
I think he reported about $2,000, $2,200, something like that.
THV 11 confirmed through North Little Rock Police that the church is one of 7 residential and commercial properties hit by burglaries in the last 10 days. Over in Little Rock, a local business employee who asked not to be identified says she noticed suspicious activity before realizing what happened.
There were some guys just pulled in to our driveway. So when they saw me looking at them, they pulled around to the end of the building to where I couldn't see them. And they was still back here parked. Yeah. And so I came back.
That's when she noticed the damage. A hole in the back fence leading to here. The metal cage cut straight down the middle. 4 air conditioning units missing.
We have a gate on it down there, and they couldn't cut the lock off because of the way it is. So that's why they had to get a grinder and come through here.
According to Little Rock Police, as of December 8th, just over 1,200 burglaries have been reported. That's down from 1,600 this time last year, a 26% decrease. And in North Little Rock, 178 burglaries were reported this year alone. In Pine Bluff, police say overall crime is down about 15%, with 98 burglaries reported between July and November. That's compared to 175 in total last year. The break-ins now have businesses and churches making security upgrades, hoping to prevent any future damages.
Make sure we have better lighting, cameras, things of that nature to protect our facilities.
For THV 11 News, I'm Maya Ellison.
All right, thank you, Maya. And while crime is trending downwards, unemployment is on the rise, according to the Arkansas Department of Commerce. In the month of September, the unemployment rate rose by 1/10 of a percentage point to 3.9%, but more than 3,000 people joined the workforce, leading the state to continue a record pace. Non-farm payrolls also hit a record high, adding 16,000 jobs in September, driven mostly by the start of the school year and gains in education and health services. And Arkansas does fare favorably when compared to numbers across the nation, where 4.4% are unemployed. There were 119,000 jobs added in September, more than twice the expectation and the best growth since April. This is the last jobs report before the Federal Reserve makes its decision on interest rates.
We've all hit them, and sometimes they hit us right back. I'm talking about potholes, and they can give drivers a big headache. But here in Little Rock, we're learning there were 2,000 pothole complaints with the city this year. With winter weather around the corner, THV 11's Tanya Motorzycki took to the streets to see where things stand and help taxpayers understand how their money is being spent on road repairs.
It's a sound every driver dreads. A bump in the road from hitting a pothole. In the Little Rock Metro, more than half of major roads are rated in poor or mediocre condition. That's according to tripnet.org. So I called Eric Petty, Little Rock's Public Works Operations Manager, to see if road repairs are falling through the cracks. Hi Eric, it's Tanya with THV 11. After last winter, Little Rock crews used nearly 300,000 pounds of materials to fill potholes made worse by freeze-thaw cycles, something we may see again this winter.
More is gonna come.
In 2023, Petty says there was a $10 million paving plan through the voter-approved bond that was good through this year. However, personal injury attorney Alan LeVar says they're still seeing issues with potholes and crumbling pavements and worry the money has not delivered smooth roads as expected. Like off of Markham and University Avenue, seeing dozens of issues according to his website.
It would be nice if we knew exactly what they were spending and where and how they prioritize determining which potholes get fixed, which ones don't.
While Petty says the $10 million road project is off the to-do list.
We've completed that. In fact, we had some extra money and did a change order and added a couple extra streets. And so hopefully that'll help us, with this coming winter, all the streets that's recently been paved. But there'll definitely be potholes show up once we get the moisture and the cold temperatures.
Thank you, Tanya. Now, the city is reminding people to call 311 to report any potholes. Petty says to also be on the lookout for town halls in your ward after the new year to share what you think needs to be fixed or built in your area for next year's upcoming bond. And as you hit the road this holiday season, you may be feeling a little bit stressed. What one expert says you can do to manage it after the break.
Twists and turns about as we head towards your weekend. But here it is. The weekend forecast as things look today. Cooler temperatures, a small chance of rain, a cold blast on the way Sunday. We'll lead up to that forecast after the break.
Plus, there's a new exhibit honoring an Arkansas legend. A look inside and what it means to the family of music legend Glenn Campbell.